Hello, my loves. So, we're going to dive into the masculine energies of feeling unbound, like where the masculines may feel bound up or held back or limited, and where those energies are starting to unravel. I'm going to tell you the energy with this is completely different than it was with the feminines, which makes sense. It was even a bit of hesitation with me coming on here to do this, but I knew it wasn't because I didn't want to do the message. I knew that it was part of the energy. So I'm going to share a bit of the energy that's coming through. There's definitely like a deep hesitation, a feeling of knowing that there's something that has to be done, but feeling uncertain about it. There's a definite energy of not feeling confident in whatever this pocket of energy is. It's coupled with some frozen energy, almost like a state of shock. And as the shock was sort of thawing, there was a shakiness in the legs and especially in the lower, like the root and sacral chakra. This is sort of coming through to me. I know we often think of the masculines in the lower chakras, but this is coming through very deeply that there's still quite a bit of their own energy and essence that is not actually embodied into those lower chakras, which would make sense why there's that feeling of sort of shakiness and ungroundedness. And it would create that essence and energy of not feeling confident. And this isn't to say that they feel like this in every area. It just feels like this is coming up for very specific areas, sort of like uncharted territory, things that they're not used to navigating that actually do have to do with the physical material world. And so I would like to get some messages around that because this is coming through as a pocket that actually lives inside the masculines, or those of you that are working on your masculine essences, that has also been ignored or stuffed. And we were taught to sort of ignore this aspect. Okay. This came through on the Patreon video that my most recent one that I did connected with the part two of the feminine unbound energy. And part of what came through in that was about the feminines embodying their internal masculine. So I'm kind of feeling a crisscross essence. Let's see what comes. It's definitely, like I said, a very, very different energy. There's definitely an energy of uncertainty and not feeling confident to make a decision that needs to be made is what's coming through. Okay. So we have grace and generosity, diving into a task and new beginnings. It's so interesting because as I feel into this, it legitimately feels like there's such a huge disconnect in the nervous system. Okay, how can I support the masculines feeling this energy? I'm going to pull some of the tarot. It feels like it has to go from the ground up, like the physical world up. A whole bunch of cards just fell out. What do we got? What do we got? Very awkward energy. Okay, I think I get this. So what it is that there's something that they actually want to follow. There's something that the masculines or internal masculines, something within this essence that actually wants to open. And now it's coming through as this like nine of cups, and then this last, like it's a mushroom, but it makes me think of a cup and this grace and generosity. It feels like there's something that they're wanting to do as far as moving forward with an energy within themselves, but it feels like in this bigger overall like relationship and in their relationship with themselves, but their relationship with their life and the people within their life. It feels like there's something that they've been holding back and they haven't felt confident to move forward with. But it feels like where they're frozen. Wow, I can really feel it. This deep diver diving into a task. And then literally with this Queen of Wands, it's like it's making me think of going down to the bottom of the sea and like getting the pearl. It's something deep. It's about getting more deep and more intimate, getting more intimate in relationships within themselves. It's kind of blown, like, I cannot believe how frozen this is. But it's leading to a new beginning. And with the Emperor and the Strength card. So, whatever this frozen pocket is, okay, where is this frozen pocket? I feel it almost through my whole system. Like where yesterday it was with the feminines and it was very like clear to go into the heart space. This feels widespread, very, very like a whole aspect of the internal masculine is frozen. It feels like feeling afraid to make the wrong decision. And so there's like no decision. Oh, wow. And then we got the Seven of Cups and the Seven of Wands fell out, which is the literal decision card. And then we got the 7-7 energy. Okay. How can this, what can we bring through to support the masculines with this? It feels so important to go back to remembering what they actually want. It's like if you can focus on the bigger overall dream of what you want, it'll start to guide you. What's actually coming through is some of this hesitation is that masculine, some of these masculines are trying to force things to be a certain way, or they're sticking with things hoping that they're going to turn into what it is that they want, but they're observing when things are not shifting. And what's coming through is actually things aren't evolving because they're not moving forward. And it feels like one of the ways to get themselves unstuck, one of the ways to get yourself unstuck is to actually just start taking some form of action. It's going to sound funny, but what's actually coming through is someone feeling like they should move a relationship forward, or people are expecting them to like get married or become more committed or like a next level of commitment, and they're uncertain about it. It doesn't feel quite right, but they're also not sure that they're ready to complete it. So there's a lot of hesitation. But what's coming through is actually to thaw it out and just let yourself start to move forward as if, and that's where you're going to find out if something is right for you or not. It's like this energy inside of us where we're waiting for things to change to show us that it's aligned, but what's actually frozen is us. We're frozen and kind of holding things up. So you start to move forward to get the information that you're actually needing and wanting. Okay. It's like, oh my gosh, like it's so frozen. Okay, what can I do to support this? Yes, we're gonna go to, I can't, give me a moment. I have to even actually like meditate with this one. I feel so deeply there's gonna be a part two with this. I'm gonna go into the child. Okay, that makes sense. So it's some frozen inner child aspects. Wow. Okay. So this is not just like recent worries. What I'm picking up on is there's actually some inner child soul retrieval that's wanting and needing to happen. There's aspects, but this sometimes part of our inner child is frozen because of trauma. But this actually feels like it's a part of the inner child that actually has the answers. That maybe you had these dreams, you had these visions, you had what you wanted, you knew what you wanted, and then you were told at every corner that you couldn't have it, that it was just a fantasy, that it wasn't real, that it was just a dream, that you couldn't actually have it. And so you started to hesitate and you started to not trust yourself, or you started to think, oh, I got to think more logical and more practical. But in truth, what's coming through is actually you are needing that aspect of you that believed, that aspect of you that didn't believe in limitations, the aspect of you that actually knew your true, genuine core soul blueprint and what you came here not only to achieve, but also to receive and experience in a very beautiful way. Okay, loves. And I know earlier I said a relationship, but this could be a job, a dream, a purpose, a move. It could really literally relate to anything, like being able to sing or being a pro basketball player or whatever it is. There's some aspect of that that needs to come back. And let's say, for instance, it is that you wanted to be a pro basketball player and then everybody told you you couldn't do it. And so you believed it and then you went off and did other things. And now that time has passed. There's still something there for you to retrieve, even if it's just that overall belief in yourself and your capacity to achieve whatever it is that you want. Okay, in some way, shape, or form. Because I'll tell you, I'm also a person who believes if we're not able to achieve it in the exact way that we want to, that doesn't mean our dream is wrong. I believe that that's our higher self telling us, listen, you're on the right track, keep going. But there's a specific and special version of that dream that's meant to come through you. And so it's going to look different than what it looks like for everyone else because you have your own special iteration of embodying that. Okay. So there's something very important within that original dream that is a piece of the puzzle that's going to support you in feeling more comfortable with making this decision and moving forward. All right, my loves. So it's kind of ironic, but for me, for an example, like I never, ever, ever in a million years, I was one of the shyest people I've ever met. I wouldn't even stand up in front of people and talk, let alone would I have ever in 1,000 years thought that I would be on YouTube doing videos talking about these types of subjects. Do you know what I mean? That was nowhere on my radar. But if I look back at it, ever since I was little, like I always enjoyed like emotionality and relationships and connections and things like that and kind of exploring or understanding those or playing those out. And so it's makes sense in those aspects of it. But there was also parts of my inner child, my super intuitive, tuned in inner child that I shut down because no one understood those parts of me. And that, when it comes back around and down to it, it's my intuitive and energetic capacity that brings me to you. That was a huge, important part of my purpose. That if I didn't go back and retrieve those parts of myself, I would not be here with you today. I had to wake those frozen parts of myself back up, right? Okay, I didn't know this was what was going to come through, but I'm going to pull a couple more. Is there anything directly that we can do with this? Of course, I'm going to drop the unbound information for next week's group in the pinned comment. I've already been getting downloads for that one around compassion and forgiveness and truth. And so that's what I'm going to pull 3 cards on. How can we work with this in a compassionate, forgiving, and truthful manner? Yeah. Oh, boy. Okay, no, they want the whole other deck. They want the whole deck in case some of the same cards want to come out. Shaky like the feminine's cards were. Whoa. Okay. Okay. So there was some form of heartbreak that broke things open, or there was some form of heartbreak that you froze off. What I'm sensing is that started to get frozen as a child. And as you went through life, this aspect kept freezing and breaking. But what I'm getting is as you thought, all of these gorgeous seeds start to replant themselves. It's like they were dormant and frozen like in the winter. But as you open it up, yes, you may have to work through some discomfort, but underneath the discomfort, underneath the ice, are all of these gorgeous seeds that were those original dreams that you had planned for yourself. It's all still there, my loves. It's all still present within you. Okay. And so working with the thawing of the frozen or the shock, or simply setting the intention to retrieve those aspects of your inner child. And I'm kind of sensing that there's even some aspects that you may have forgotten about. There is a 7 on this card too. How I said we had the 7s. Okay. I want to pull one more. The world card came back again. I told you something felt like it wanted to come back. And this was the card that I said, this is about going back to that dream. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be bringing in some inner child work into the Unbound group. For those of you who feel called to that, makes perfect, gorgeous sense as we unravel these heartbreaks, as we allow our love and our true essence to reawaken, allowing this to me feels like that pure life force essence that's already within your heart. And as you allow the heartbreak to thaw, it'll allow those seeds to plant and the dream to come back alive. This is bringing me to the heart space work that the feminines are doing. And again, this is a different aspect from the masculine side. But for those of you working on the internal union, it's like working from the outside in and the inside out to support the heart in every direction with thawing out. So as you use that activation of going into that preserved sacred heart space, you may find buried within that some of this energy that's ready to be worked with, loved, retrieved, and open to preparing to receive. Okay, my loves, we're going to leave it there. we will see how this plays out. If I'm guided, I will come back and offer a part 2 on Patreon, or we'll just see how I'm guided. All right, my loves, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care. Bye.